data. For example, Mr. Secretary, I can tell you, you said there was only 2 dead people that would vote. I can promise you there are more than that, and that may be what your investigation shows, but I can promise you there are more than that.
You know, it's just you have the most important job in the country right now, because if we win Georgia, first of all, if we win, you're going to have 2 wins. They're not going to win right now. You know, they're down because the people of Georgia are so angry at what happened to me. They know I won by hundreds of thousands of votes. It wasn't close. Hopefully, you know, I will. When the right answer comes out, you'll be praised. I mean, I don't know why. You know, they made it so hard. They will be praised. People will say, "Great," because that's what it's about, that ability to check and to make it right. Because everyone knows it's wrong. There's just no way. Anyway, but whatever you can do, Francis, it would be, it's a great thing. It's an important thing for the country. So important. You have no idea it's so important. Well, and I very much appreciate it.
So, Harry, the individuals on the other end of Meadows are of course, Brad Raffensperger, and the other end of Trump, Francis Watson. They are the 2 witnesses who've been called on Monday. Take us through what you think will happen and the importance of Monday's hearing.
I think it's really important, Nicole. And so Mark Meadows, to date, he's been, you know, successfully on this slalom run, and he is yet to fall. He got past the January 6th committee, and it looks as if he also was sort of cooperated in half measure with Smith in January 6th. But now, should he lose this hearing and be back in the jaws of the Fulton County proceedings, he's really looking at a hard time in a Georgia jail that Trump cannot pardon away. To John's point, there's maybe a solution for Trump, but not for the other 18. What's important about Monday is it's an evidentiary hearing. The federal judge has said, okay, show me some evidence why you were really within your official scope of responsibilities. And as you say, Willis is going to call Raffensperger and his chief investigator, who will say, he's obviously pushing me to change an election result. That's against the law. What is Meadows going to say in reverse and to contradict it? Because I think it's pretty clear he can't testify. He could maybe weave his own way on direct, but he would be clobbered on cross-examination. So he's going to have to carry his burden somehow with evidence, real evidence that doesn't include his own testimony. And the stakes for him literally could not be higher. It's the difference between navigating the whole giant slalom and maybe coming out clean, and literally a disaster of many years in a Georgia state prison.
I mean, Harry, you paint the stakes in such blunt and dire colors. I appreciate that, especially on a Friday of this week. But what possible defense in a legal context is he going to have for coordinating all the elements of a coup, which he was in the rooms where lawyers were telling him it violated the Electoral Count Act, it was knowingly illegal, that there was no fraud. He has his own text messages with Eric Hirschman where he says, maybe we can find the other 10,000 dead people, LOL. We've all talked about that. Where he's in the rooms where they're talking about how they would lose 7-2, no, sorry, 9-0 to the Supreme Court. He knows what he's doing is unconstitutional. He knows what he's doing is illegal. There's no argument that it has anything to do with the American presidency. What is he going to say in his own defense? All right.
So he knows what he's doing is a lie. And remember, lies are the bottom of all these schemes. But we talked about this initially, and to your chagrin, I know it seemed like, how could he possibly get away with it? But the way you said, and his papers, which have just come in, written by a Scalia clerk, very deft, are just going to play it at a different level where he says, I'm convening phone calls or I'm setting up meetings. And I just want to note, I agree with you that his claim should not succeed, but it's nowhere near as weak as Trump's. And we're in a circuit that is very pro removal, and that's his first step. Then we get to immunity, and so the case law is pretty much formed, but it's going to come down to how the judge takes the characterization of his duties. There are a few things I agree that it's hard to construe as anything possibly within a chief of staff's responsibilities, but he has put in descriptions that 75% at least give an argument. So we've covered this ground before, and I know it's galling, but he's got an actual shot, I think, Monday, and I think many people would have that same view. It shouldn't prevail, but the law is very deferential, and this circuit in particular is very deferential as well.
Do you have the same analysis for the others seeking to move it from state to federal court, Harry?
No, I don't, because look, all that Clark did, he's trying to move it, was do that phony baloney memo. That's what it's based on. He's out. Trump himself, most importantly, is out, and other judges already have ruled this is not what a president does. The electors seem the most far-fetched to me of all. They're not even dealing with anything federal. Meadows, who to my lights, and I've always thought this, is the second most culpable party in the whole the whole brouhaha, has the best shot. We'll find out Monday. I know there are different views about this, but I'm just here to tell you it's not a gimme. It's not a layup for Willis under the law.